I'm blathering in the rain. I blather in the rain, wearing darkened sunglasses. How? They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Oh wait, it's an ambulance, so I could probably use one of those too. Not feeling so great today. How are you? My name is Dave J. from New York City. And I'm a songwriter, performer, storyteller, characters for kids and adults, and I'm a walking to work. I'm a walking in the rain. It is just sort of starting to drizzle. I didn't think it was going to drizzle until, or rain rather. I love the word drizzle. I just can't do it with salad dressing. Nope, I pour the whole gloppy thing on there. My wife says I use too much. But it is a good word, drizzle. Just can't drizzle my salad dressing. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Blather and Digress. As I say, I'm Dave J, and I'm walking to my gig. There's my guitar. Wave at it. Say hello. I should come up with a name for my guitar. I think people do that. I'll think about it. Actually, why don't you suggest a name? No, you haven't seen my guitar. Oh, maybe you've seen my guitar in some other videos. You have to see it to name it? Well, it has to inspire a name, I guess, right? So you have to see it and then say, no, it's not really a Gertrude. Don't name it Gertrude. But you could suggest anything you want. Anyway, where do I begin? I'm sure wherever I begin, it won't be where I end. Let's see, I'm not feeling so hot today. Let's start, you check in with yourself and you say, how am I doing? That's something I learned in Brad Calcaterra's Risk acting class there, when I workshopped my Beatles solo show. I call it a one-man show. I think that's sexist now, right? You can't say one-man show. You can't say the word man, that's sexist. Solo show. Well, that's anti-duo, isn't it? Don't get me started. I'm just blathering and digressing. Who cares? Okay. Yeah. Last night I went to bed feeling a little, my stomach. Shouldn't have had that frozen yogurt with the M&Ms probably before bed. Fine, I get that. And then I woke up with a little bit of the head aching there. Took the old ibuprofen, and we'll see if that helps. So, just so much going on. You know, you too, right? It's not just me. It's just so much to do. But you just try to push through it and make it through. And by the way, we were talking in the last episode of Blather and Digress briefly about a theme song for Blather and Digress, and my buddy Tom there made a comment that he thought it would be a great idea to have a competition. So I figured we'd make it like a decathlon. You've got to run about 26 miles, and then at the end of the 26 miles, you've got to swim 10 miles. Then at the end of the swim, you've got to bike another 5 miles uphill in blistering sunlight. Then you're going to get off the bike, and there'll be tables set up with pads and instruments, and you'll have to write a 25-minute theme song, which later on we'll cut down on our end. We'll take the best bits. Who's in? Okay, great. Seriously though, let's have a little fun. Let's have a little competition there. How about you come up with, let's make this nice and easy but challenging. Come up with a word or two, no more than 3 words, 1 to 3 words that you think that are pertinent, the most pertinent words to use in a theme song. I'll take the words and I'll use them to create a theme song for Blather and Digress. How about that? Let's do that. Yeah. Train. Truck. I feel like I'm teaching. I don't know. Filling time. Stretch. I don't think you're seeing what I'm doing there. So I've thrown down the gauntlet. I've issued the challenge. Now it's up to you. Now, if you're feeling randy, is that the word? If you're feeling up to the task, go ahead and do more than that. Write a theme song for Blathering Digressing. Sing it. Sing it to yourself. Sing it on a phone. Sing it on a video. Post it. And I will choose a winner. Yes, I'm just kind of thinking this through as I say it, so that's not really thinking it through at all. And you can have the ambulance ride of your choice as first prize. I will do your laundry for the next 3 months using only Tabasco and chocolate syrup as the detergent. No. I've got to come up with a good... Hey, I got a competition. Come up with a good prize for the competition. There you go. Now there's 2 competitions. Oh, I'm rolling. Yeah. All right. What am I going to talk about today other than competitions and theme songs, and that's how I'm feeling? You checked in with that already? Well, I've been studying this Damian Keyes stuff. I've been mentioning that. And you got to set goals. That's what we're talking about in the Damian Keyes community now. There's a community there. Oh, yeah. That's what I think we should have. We should have a Blather and Digress community. Maybe you can blather and digress with me. Maybe you somehow, how can we get you involved and give you the value? Let's stroke our beards and think about it. Just imagine a beard there. Don't worry about the technicalities. Come on. Play with me. Work with me. All right. Are we getting the light? I'm running. That made me feel better. Okay. You know what? One of the things we talked about in the Damian Keyes community the other day was consistency being key. And that as artists, we try to throw so much against the wall, so many different ideas. Oh, well, I've got this idea. We've got this creative idea. I want to try that. See what sticks. And there is truth that's fairly common. And but he posited, word of the day, posit. What if we just chose like a few things, but took one thing that we were just consistent about, and we did it every day for a long period of time? Well, I thought, and we didn't worry about the perfectionism, and I thought that that's what these Blather and Digress videos are. And with the banging, I'm making a video. You see this, right? You can put it on hold. You have a union break coming up? Okay, I don't know. They didn't hear me. They were banging loud. They couldn't hear a thing. Maybe they don't watch, maybe they're not fans of the Blather and Digress. They're not part of the community, the tribe. Okay. I know I enjoy these things. I enjoy making them, but I've gotten some good feedback. So like I say, I'm going to be consistent, keep making them, see if they lead somewhere. I've actually got some ideas. I was beginning to touch on this in a previous video about why I got into showbiz, what it is that I think my skill set is, that I'd like to use, to make a living out of, and in the ideal would be to be like a one-man monkeys, to do a program, a show, a creative show where I play a version of myself like Seinfeld, like the Monkees. In fact, Seinfeld plus the Monkees equals, plus the internet, which means maybe it would be a 5-minute episode, or maybe it would be a 10-minute, you can make it any length you want on the internet. But here's the idea. I'm Dave J, and I'm a struggling songwriter, performer, storyteller who does characters for kids and adults. And like the Monkees, there's always something that, like the story wheel, the Joseph Campbell has translated by maybe Dan Harmon, simplifying it, where it's like, okay, I'm Dave J, and everything's normal, and in the beginning of the episode, and then, oh no, something happens, and suddenly I've got to deal with an issue. I've got to figure it out. And then I go pursue, and I find myself in a strange place, a new place, a place I've never experienced before. I've got to go through a trial of some sort. Not a witch trial. Maybe one episode it will be a witch trial. Maybe we'll go literal, like Monty Python dropping the cow. But obscure reference, sorry. No need to blather right now about that. All right, I will. You made me do it. I can't help it. I've got to do it. That's what I do. That's why this is Blathering Digressing. Well, all right, here we go. There was an episode, I believe, I'm paraphrasing my mind because I don't remember anything anymore. The guy behind me, he's creeping up. Ooh, okay. No, so what? They didn't have a way out of a sketch that they were doing on the old Monty Python, so they literally dropped the cow on the character or characters, I don't know, and that ended the sketch. So Saturday Night Live, I believe Lorne Michaels started referring to it as dropping the cow as a device to get out of a sketch. So I don't even know why I'm talking about that now. All right, so the show, a one-man monkeys. I'm a struggling musician and performer for kids and adults. And it's like Seinfeld, right? Except he's really successful, right, in his show. And me, you know, I'm doing okay, but I'm trying to find my way. I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that. I'm not sure how I'm going to make this happen. And so that's what the episodes are about. And then I thought, what a great angle to work in, but the social media stuff is so part of the artist's world now. It's what you have to be able to do. You need to be able to incorporate it. In most cases, I would posit, I love that word, to succeed. So maybe there would be Blather and Digress episodes within the One Man Monkey Show. That's the working title of the project, you see. And I love fantastical sort of comedy where, you know, unrealistic, ridiculous things take place. So I have all sorts of ideas for this, and I thought, because what I think from time to time is, well, what is it if I could do, you know, that thing, if you were suddenly independently wealthy, what is the one thing you would do, you know, with your time? And it's always, and in fact, my wife, when we were dating, we, like, maybe within the first 4 months of us dating, she said, let's do vision boards. I said, hey, I'm not into this stuff. She said, no, it's just you take a poster board, you cut up magazines, you glue words and things, you use magic markers and all sorts of arts and crafts, I believe is the term from my childhood. You paste things. Whoever pastes things anymore? Oh, yeah, when I was an adult, I've glued some things, but pasting? Okay, let's try it. So we did it. And at the end, you're supposed to take a look at your vision board. You have a set amount of time. And your vision board then is supposed to suggest, oh, this is what subconsciously I've been dreaming of. What is the connection? What is the meaning? That's what we silly humans do. That should be the name of the show, We Silly Humans, featuring Dave J. I don't know. I'm always coming up with titles, you know. Good or bad, I don't know. Maybe mostly indifferent. Oh, wait, that dog is trying to tell me something. I'm sorry. It's Tuesday, and I refuse to speak dog on Tuesdays. It's sort of a religious... Never mind. Because I can't blather and digress in English and dog at the same time. It's just too much for my brain to take. Besides, we're talking about something loftier. The vision, the TV show, the vision board. So the vision board suggested that I want to have my own production company. And I thought, that's it. You know, if I could, so I wrote up a thing, one of the exercises I did at the beginning of this year, 2020. Love the sound of that. I'll never get tired of it. Anyway, 2030, that's when I'll get tired of 2020. I don't know. I can't predict that far ahead. What am I, Nostradamus? I had a sketch idea once where Nostradamus, they found a new prediction of Nostradamus's that came true. And it was his shopping list for the grocery store. He predicted accurately that he was going to purchase grapes, cheese, and bread and other things. He made the list before he went. And he predicted accurately that he was going to buy these groceries. Anyway, I don't know. I always liked that sketch. I don't know if anyone else ever liked it. And in the sketch-going community. Do you like it? You like the Nostradamus bit? I'm proud of it. I like it. I think it's cute. I think it's kind of a quirky, cute little bit. And they're all taking it seriously. And to me, that sort of outlines our ridiculous, silly human way of, finding something so we're not bored. That's it. That's what Blather and Digress is, right? I'm bored, I would do this, I talk to myself half the time. Out loud sometimes too, it's embarrassing. It's a little less embarrassing if I'm holding a camera and I have an excuse. I told you already, I'm a little self-conscious even doing it with a camera around people. But anyway, getting back to the vision board, I did this exercise that Adam Ivy had suggested at the beginning of the year. This is another, social media teacher. And he said, write up a very detailed account of what you could imagine your ideal life to be 12 months from now. Excuse me, I don't know why he didn't say 1 year. What is this? 12 months. It's like people who say 60 seconds instead of a minute. What's wrong with these people? Anyway, if you're watching this, Adam, I think it was great. It's okay. 12 months. So I did the exercise. Never mind me. I'm a silly human. That's for damned sure. I am a silly human. Let's write a theme song for the silly human thing. I'm digressing again. So I wrote up a thing that I wake up next to my beautiful wife and do my exercises and eat a good breakfast and whatever and do this and that. And then I take a 20-minute walk across town. Right now I'm doing a 35-minute walk to my gig. That's okay. But I got a 20-minute walk to my production company. And then get in there and I, have some coffee again, because I had some coffee at home too in there. He said, be very detailed. I didn't say how I take the coffee. I have to go back and edit. Okay, black. That's how I like it now. I used to take sugar and cream, that liquid sugar. Oh, I thought that was like NASA. And I was like, you mean liquid sugar? They have it in liquid now? It's not the granules? The granules? Granule. Word of the day again. Second word of the day. Posit and granule. So just posit the granules into the coffee and it'll taste better. But now it's liquid. I thought it was a miracle. So anyway, I'll tell you the story about the first time I ever had coffee. It was only about 7 years ago? Maybe 8? Crazy. Believe it or not, I may have tasted it as a kid and thought it was terrible. So I thought, Pepsi, that's my generation's coffee. So I would drink, and then they had Pepsi Max. That was my coffee for a long time. Then I was at my friend Barry the K's son's bar mitzvah, and at the reception afterwards, and they brought after the dessert, they're like, oh, would you like some coffee, sir? And they called me sir. It kind of buttered me up a little. I said, well, and it won't cost anything. So I'll take the coffee, sure. And then I thought to myself, I don't have to drink it. Maybe I won't like it. Of course, I forgot that it was by then, 10 o'clock at night? Idiot I was. I didn't realize. So I saw the sugar caddy. There was some kind of, condiments caddy for the coffee on the table. Oh, it had sugar. It didn't have liquid sugar. It was not that advanced. But it had sugar granules, and it had packets of this and that. Different varieties of anti-sugar, I don't know what you call it, and it had creams from various lands. I don't know. It was very expensive caddy, the kind you would have bought at Bed Bath & Beyond or something, but very nice. The upper echelon, I prefer echelon version, tomato. I don't even call Tom Hanks Hanks. I think it's Hanks. Honks. No, Honks. I like that better. He doesn't care. Doesn't even return my emails. I don't like how this is going. All right, I'll just continue. So I experimented, put on my goggles, my coffee goggles. I was in test tubes and beakers with the coffee. I drank that coffee. It tasted good with all the extra syrups and potions I'd put in there, like a witch. Eye of a jackal, tongue of newt, bubbling and explosions. I drank that coffee and had a 7-hour phone conversation that night with my friend Stephanie. I was bouncing off the walls. It was the greatest feeling I'd ever had. So, ooh, it's windy now. And look what it's doing for my hair there. It's kind of looking slick or thin. Anyway, man of a certain age. All right, so basically now, where am I? Oh yeah, coffee, did that. Monkeys, one-man TV show idea. And so that's what I'm working towards. Finding a way to essentially have my own production company. And I was going to say, so I got to the production company. I walked my 20 minutes. That's right. And then I, do some social media stuff. That's the key. You got to answer the things. You got to reply to people's comments. You got to click like and things like that. Maybe you click not liking so much on some of them. I don't know. No, you be welcoming and you engage in conversation. That's the important thing. That's how you bring the value. I love it. Got to bring value. I'll provide coupons. That's what I'll do. How about Blather and Digress coupons? I'm trying to develop my own merch. That's short for merchandise. If you're not in the business, you don't know. But, I have an old idea that I'm going to try to bring to the fore soon. I was in the recording studio with my friend Danny Weinkoff yesterday, and I had this jingle for this new merch idea. Well, it's not a new idea. I came up with it in 1993. I just never brought it to complete fruition. It's the Paper Pocket Buddy. If you're a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, and you've known me a long time, you probably have heard of the Rob Klein, my friend Rob Klein, not the comedian. Sometimes he fancies himself a comedian, but I'm talking about not the comedian who, was big in the 70s, in the college circuit and all that stuff. He was the thinking man's comedian. Or was that Jay Leno? Something like that. I met Jay Leno once. He was very nice to me. Very unfortunate what happened with Conan and the Tonight Show and Letterman and the Late Shift and all that stuff. Anyway, that's a whole. I'll save the Leno story because I'm getting to my gig soon and I don't have much time. Maybe I'll finish up with the Leno story. Okay, you talked me into it. So. No, real quick, the production company, basically I get there and I do the socials and I finish there and I answer emails and I whatever, and then I go into the recording studio for the rest of the morning. We work on some tracks, and then the afternoon, then we go to lunch, then after lunch we have some video shoot stuff for like 3 hours, and then we do some more socials, and then we go home. And that's essentially, it varies because then you got to work in tours and releases and appearances and all sorts of things, in an ideal world. Okay. So I'm going to work towards that. I'm going to continue to have the vision for it, and then try to make that happen with your help and competitions where you do all the work. No, I mean, come up with a theme song. That would be very helpful. No, tell me what you think of all this. I don't know, I like it. I'm going to try it. Suddenly my hair that was looking kind of slicked back when the wind was blowing, suddenly I'm Greg Brady. I don't know what's going on up there. All right. So, the Jay Leno story. So, the year was 1987. I was finishing up my freshman year of college at Ithaca College there, and I knew I needed some kind of job in the summer, or something to do with myself. And I thought, the Catskills, all my heroes, Mel Brooks and all those tumblers, that's a Yiddish word for like a guy who would do shtick around the pool in the Catskills. And they worked in the Catskills and cut their teeth, and I got to get a job in the Catskills. So I contacted the Concord Resort Hotel, and I got a job on the activities staff, which is what basically these guys did, and to be tumblers and all that. And I got the job, and I worked that summer, and I ran bingo, and I did shtick running bingo, and I did other things like that. And I did do shtick around the pool. They put me in a costume. Every Thursday was a different costume. One was a flamenco guy, and one was Statue of Liberty on July 4th. And anyway, so it was fun. Good memory. Good memories about it. But every Saturday night would be like a big act coming in. And one Saturday night towards the end of the summer was Jay Leno. So I was an aspiring comedian. I wrote up a letter, and I made like 5 copies of the letter saying how much of a fan I was and how I'd love to meet him and how, if he has any advice for me and this and that and the other thing. And I had hours and hours before the show, I went and gave a copy to the security guard. Oh, no. Hours and hours before the show, that afternoon, no one was around backstage of the theater that he was going to perform at. So I went back there in the dressing room and left him one. Then, just in case, I gave one to my boss, who apparently was going to meet him. And then that was like right an hour before the show, I gave one to the security guard guarding the backstage area, all these different ways. Then I remember I was hanging out in the lighting booth for some reason. It's not something I normally did, but I happened to remember that I was there after the show. I'd watched the show from the lighting booth. Good show. The Thinking Man's Comedian. So, and then my boss found me. He's like out of breath, like I am always making these videos, as my friend Tom points out. And he's like, I've been looking for you everywhere. He said, Jay wants to meet you. I'm like, oh my God, really? He wants to meet me? So, so I went backstage there, and he couldn't have been nicer, you know. And he's like, here, you want a 7-Up? Here, have a thing. He gave me one of those little glass cocktail 7-Up bottles. It was like this big, you know, that you'd use to mix a drink. They used to make them. And I saved that bottle for like 12 years, thinking, oh, Jay Leno gave it to me, you know. What a megatard I was. Anyway, so basically, it's so ridiculous. Well, I think the technical term is hoarder. That's right. But he said, so tell me, have a seat, tell me what you want to do. And I'm not sure if this is Jay Leno or Mike Tyson now that I'm doing, but he was real nice. I said, well, you know, I want to do comedy, and I work on a sketch comedy show at college, and we're doing award-winning sketch comedy. I thought it was award-winning. A.E. Rowe was the competition, the college competition, and I just had dinner with my buddy Mark Youngblood, who was on the show. We were real serious about comedy, you know? And he said, no, we never won the award. And I was like, we didn't? I thought we were an award-winning. He said, no, there was always some bad sketch comedy show, he said, but we never, I don't think we actually won. Oop, I'm gonna get hit. See that, the van coming? Okay. Anyway, so I told Jay comedy, and he goes, well, he gave me great advice. He said, and it ties up neatly, because I'm just about at my gig. He said, well, you just got to go to the comedy clubs, catch her at all these places, and you just got to keep doing it. You just keep doing it and keep doing it, and that's the only way. Consistency, right? And that's what Damian Keyes was saying there. Consistency, you know, and don't ever quit. And that's one thing that, you know, I've been thinking about, what are my strengths, right? I'm trying to glean it from others and from people like Damian Keyes, from you guys. I've been asking my friends, I mentioned in a previous video, I've been asking my friends what these are working, what works, what doesn't work, you know. I think that they find me likable. Am I blushing? Okay, I nearly lost my balance, that's scary. So basically that, and I'll never quit, and I've got to find a way, and all these kinds of things. And so I'm just going to keep at it. And thank you so much for your time and for your support. And please feel free to let me know anything you'd like me to blather and digress about. And of course, if you'd smush like, you could do it with this hand, or you could do it with this hand. I'm not going to judge. Please feel free to sign up on my YouTube channel there, Dave J. Gerstein, and davej.com, DAVEJAYDOTCOM on Instagram. And we'll continue our blathering and digressioning at another time. But have a great day, and thank you again.